You know what, man? Chapter 160 wasn't even that bad. It was actually really good. With Shin and Hisuke showing improvements, getting trained. And it's honestly really cool how Shin never really thought to use his Esper powers. Like, not his Esper powers, his ESP, you know what I'm saying? He didn't think about using that to train because he's always been trying to get physically as strong as Sakamoto and the other order members. But he was shown here that he is kind of reaching his physical limit. He doesn't have the natural talents like Sakamoto does, but he does have his ESP. So what does that mean? That means that if he trains that up more, then he can actually have an advantage in these fights. You know what I mean? And that's the crazy part. So now when Shin is going into this training arc, he's going to have that in the back of his mind, his ESP, and how he can utilize that in unfavorable positions and situations. And that's what's crazy. Now, the only person that can actually help Shin is the fortune teller. Now, that's actually a cool concept that they implemented with the fortune teller, being able to, predict the future and all that. It's kind of like, the mermaid in One Piece and Fishman Island that can like predict things. But it's actually kind of cool here because apparently in the last, few attempts, they got wrong, the fortune. So they kind of threw him in jail. And you know what jail is? Jail is nothing but impale down for me, bro. Impale down. Impale down is going to be a training arc for Sakamoto days. Training arc, here we come, boy. That's all I seen when they were just describing just how bad and hopeless this jail is. You know what I'm saying? And they just single-handedly listen. Shin and Hisuke just walked in there, to surrender. Say, hey man, we were part of that bombing at the museum. It is what it is. You can lock us up. You know what I'm saying? We got to go train. And it's crazy how they were describing the JAA jail as being like a deep underground, thing that's below the Okutabe castle, and it's super violent inside. So assassins who aren't tough enough often get killed the first day. It's divided into 3 layers with the most heinous criminals being held in the deepest underground. In fact, the prisoners die so frequently from the violence that nobody ever finishes their sentence and never been released. Now, what does that tell you? That tells me that this is gonna be a fire training arc, bro. Fire training arc. You can't tell me. Listen, Shin is gonna come out of this. Now, the reason why this training arc, like in my opinion, is gonna be amazing, is just because of the unknown situations that he's brought in, right? Because right now, Shin and Hisuke, they're gonna be training out. I mean, Hisuke, obviously he's gonna get a buff. I'm worried about Shin because Shin is gonna be Sakamoto's right hand man eventually, right? Shin needs to be as strong as what's his name? It was Slur's right hand man, Gaku, right? Shin has a goal point, right? He knows he needs to get as strong as Gaku if he wants to be any of use to Sakamoto. And Sakamoto, he's going through his own training right now, right? He got, I think it's 5 order members or 4 order members like hunting after him right now, going after his head. That's kind of crazy because we're seeing him actually be vulnerable, right? Like he's not, as strong as he was in his peak. Well, one, because he's not trying to kill, right? That obviously nerfs him, but he is trying to become stronger. So he is putting himself in these disadvantaged situations. And that's gonna, obviously that's gonna work for him, and that's the amazing part. But the situations that Shin is gonna be put in is gonna be really cool and something we can look for, guys. Like it's gonna be interesting, week to week to see what kind of people we have to face in order to, actually, become stronger. And I think that's cool. Chapter 180 has been real solid, man. Real solid. I got no complaints on chapter 180. You know what I mean? Progressing the plot forward. We got both, everyone in the cast that have a meeting and a little side quest they gotta do, just getting stronger because they realize that, it's a situation that we're in. You know what I'm saying? It's a situation that we're all in that we gotta get stronger. You know what I'm saying? Because We got Takamura stats on top of Slur. Slur got his own sauce. It's funny, but it's honestly a very interesting story, and I'm so glad that the author said that he's gonna take the story into the longevity, man, the long game. He's not gonna rush it. He has so many different storylines and things he wanted to play out. So that is amazing because we're only gonna get stronger. This is actually, I think this is the first real training arc in Sakamoto days. I know we had like other mini ones, like different editions Shin had with like the gauntlets or whatever, but like this is like the first real like, you know, training arc that we're gonna get into, and that's gonna be interesting because I want to see how he gonna write training arcs in general, right? Because you know, all the other great animes do it, so I'm pretty sure it's good. You know, we just sit back and relax, bro. You know what I'm saying, guys? It was a great chapter. Please comment down below how you feel about the chapter, because honestly, I like it. It's good setup, you know what I'm saying?
Times, and has ultimately cemented himself in the assassin world as
Penny X.